Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court with Krissy. This small claims case screams salmonella. But if you're looking to lose a few pounds before swimsuit season, give Pyles Meat Processing a call. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
All right.
Are we
Gentlemen,
good?
this is,
All right.
yes, file 2500534SC. This is a small claims case, Mencken versus Pyles. What we mean by small claims is we're trying to do this here without any attorneys. Nobody is represented by a lawyer. And the parties are asking for this to be resolved right here in front of me, as opposed to having a jury trial or anything like that. So firstly, I want to make sure you're both willing and able to proceed in front of me. And if that's true, then even though Mr. Pyles, I cannot see you, I would ask you to raise your right hand the same way I'm raising my right hand, and Mr. Mencken is going to raise his right hand so I can swear everybody in. Do you swear or affirm that you will truthfully testify and that everything you testify to will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right. So, gentlemen, I do have information on this file. I was sent a decent amount of information from the plaintiff, but I might want to start with you, Mr. Pyles. Mr. Pyles, you're being sued here for $4,085. Do you believe that you owe any money back to Mr. Mencken, or are you here contesting that you owe money?
I believe I do not owe him any money.
All right. So then we do have a problem. Because it's my understanding that you are not even licensed to process meat, and that therefore you shouldn't have taken this contract or taken any money or done any of the work. Do you have anything to contest that assertion?
There is no licensing. I talked to the state of Michigan, and there is no licensing to do animals. You just have to have all the permits and the correct stuff to do it. And I shouldn't say permits to add ingredients. So, and there's no ingredients to beef. So, there is no licensing. There's a registration to do deer.
Sir, I was sent the entire evaluation of Pyles Meat Processing of when they came and inspected you, all the problems that they found, and how they explained to you that you are in violation of multiple reasons why you shouldn't be processing meat. Do you want me to go through that, or do you want to realize, oh, I didn't realize you have that report?
No,
you don't have a state food license through NDARD, correct?
No, they wanted a 3-compartment sink and a couple of hand wash sinks.
No, sir. They found that your temperatures were not correct, that you had contamination even in your cold room, that you were thawing out in a heated room, that the thermometer was showing that you were not at 41 degrees. You let a dog run around where you were processing meat. And I agree that you didn't have correct sinks. Sir, this was kind of a disaster, right?
I was not processing meat when the dog was running around. I was thawing out venison for salami that a deer probably.
So let me just reiterate for this. So Mr. Mencken, so not only did you get complaints from, it looked like at least 3 customers, but you yourself agreed that there was something wrong with the meat, and then you ended up just either not selling it, whatever you had left, or refunding customers money for whatever you had sold, correct?
Yes, what I did is I gave the customers back their money, took the beef so that I was in control of it, so that nobody would get sick or have something happen to them. I have the meat in the freezer here. I'm willing to dispose of it properly, but I didn't know what to do with it until I had talked to you in the court.
All right. And so of this $4,085, really the way that breaks down is some of that was the amount that you actually paid to Mr. Pyles for his services, correct? And then
Correct.
let me see, I want to go over these numbers. That was $725. And then the rest of that $4,085, that's you saying that this was a hanging weight, 840 pounds at about $4 a pound.
Yes, and that came to $3,063.75. I believe that's without the $725.
I was the beef was split 4 ways, and it had
Yes.
on not for resale or not for sale. So I don't know how they refrigerated after it left my place, but I guarantee you when it left my place, it was good. It was solid frozen. I wrapped it. I didn't cut it.
What date did you process it?
I don't have a date that I processed it.
Okay, well, that's part of the problem, right?
Yeah. But
Well, I mean that this was in October, and then this is dated November 18th on the meat. So you had it in your custody for over a month.
well, it was in my freezer for a while. I mean, and beef does hang. I mean, hanging beef can hang. I guarantee you, it did not leave my place rotten. Nothing leaves my place rotten. I've done this for years. For other people, just a couple of years now on my own, I guarantee it. I'll put my hand on I raise my hand. I did not leave my place bad. I don't.
So this is a licensed and insured business you have.
No, I didn't.
Okay, you understand that, sir, then what you're doing is illegal.
Well, now I do after the state came in, but everybody that I worked for 40 years, nobody's ever been licensed, registered even to do deer. That's a new thing I found about the registration to do deer. And it's a free registration, but I got a citation for it because they came out.
But what I'm telling you is, what I'm explaining to you is, because you are operating unlicensed and uninsured, essentially the liability is always going to lie with you if something goes wrong. Right? Now, Mr. Mencken, a lot of the money he's going to ask for, because he's asking for considerably more than $4,085. You just don't know about that yet because it wasn't in the complaint. Now, Mr. Mencken, here's the problem. When you use someone that's unlicensed and uninsured, you might be getting a good price, but then essentially there's lots of things you can't sue him for because you're the one that's taking a chance on, you know, getting a deal, but
I was understanding that he was licensed and insured. That's what understanding I had.
But I do want to explain to you the things like the interest on what you should have used the money, would have used the money for, and or, you know, mileage to file complaints, things like that. You can sue for if we're in general civil. But in small claims, in other words, the benefit of small claims is you don't have to pay an attorney to do this. But the hard part about small claims is it's only your out-of-pocket damages. You can't sue for the sort of hypothetical or potential damages. So I know here you have, and just so that, you know, Mr. Pyles understands, there was a considerable amount of money here, over $1,000 more that was being asked for, that I'm in the process of explaining to Mr. Mencken that he can sue for that, but not in small claims. So I would limit your claim to simply the out-of-pocket damages to $4,085. But the problem is, given the evidence that I have in front of me, Mr. Pyles, and by that, the most damaging thing was, of course, the report when they came out and inspected you, that I would find that the problem here lied in your side of things and award those damages in the amount of $4,085. The only other thing I need to explain to you, gentlemen, is that Mr. Mencken, you also paid certain monies out of pocket to get here today. You had to pay a filing fee to court, and you had to pay to have Mr. Pyles served. That $166.90, that is what we call costs. You are also able to get that. So that was some of the additional things you were asking for are acceptable things that you can ask for in small claims, and therefore I would award those to you. But just so you understand, I'd give you an opportunity to make an argument at least for any of the other things you were asking for, but a lot of those hypothetical damages I can't award you. I think you understand what I'm saying. I see you nodding.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
And then,
Yes,
Mr. Pyles, I want to make sure that you understand, although either one of you has this, both of you have this right, but either one of you who says, I don't agree with what just happened there today, I want to go ahead and appeal this to general civil in front of the district court judges. In order to appeal my finding today, you have to do two things. One is you have to ask for that within 7 days of today's date. The window of opportunity to continue contesting this or to appeal this finding closes after 7 days. And two, you must come in and do that in writing. You cannot just call and ask for that over the phone. So I'll just ask you one at a time. Do you understand your rights on appeal, Mr. Mencken
Yes, I do.
and Mr.
Yeah.
Pyles?
Yes.
All right, then gentlemen, we are all set for what we need to do here today. What I'm going to do is draw this up as a judgment, and then that will be sent out to parties in the mail. The court does not do collections. We are expecting that you would be in contact with each other to do what's called the satisfy the judgment or exchange the monies. But other than that, we are all set for what we need to do here today. I'm going to go ahead and release you. Thank you.